This is the most frustrating game I have ever played. It is a masochistic love letter to those willing to refine and exploit the mechanics of Ocarina of Time. In this mod, you are a young hero tasked with aiding the Bombiwa, not sure how that's pronounced, tribe in a missing persons investigation. The name Bombiwa itself is a bit of a meme, in fact. It's actually the internal name of the bombable boulder rock in Ocarina of Time, so as such, the mod relies very heavily on this motif. The first mission is to find the innkeeper. Think of this as baby's first Bombiwa dungeon. A little preview to showcase what's to come. Now this switch puzzle is not too difficult to figure out, but it's pretty wild to implement. The switch creates ice blocks, which I can jump to, but they also prevent me from bombing that boulder we just saw and jumping across the gap to that cave across the way. It's also covered with an ice block. So we need to time the on-off of the switch with bombs, which is easier said than done. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Now this is also a great little preview here of the vines. You may recall that the vines in climbable areas in Ocarina of Time are pretty janky, and the modder takes full advantage of this. Basically, you need to know exactly how to approach these so you don't just get tossed right off. It's horrendous, but it's just a preview of what's to come. Here we go, I made it across the way, but unfortunately, as I'm about to find out, the door is locked. I do actually need to bomb that boulder. And what is the best way to do that? Well, it's a little tricky, because I don't have enough time, and it's weird when the switch goes off because the camera changes. So basically what I need to do is a blind throw. Now, I'm not going to share how many times this took me because that information is pretty embarrassing, but it took a while. Let's just put it that way. In this area, the player must clear all enemies to unlock a door housing the innkeeper. It looks easy, especially if I were to show you my only successful jump, but here are a few of the others. By nature of the odd geometry here, Link wants to jump off at an angle and totally miss the target. You must know exactly how to ride the line and get him aimed, not to mention timing the attack properly. But it's really in the mysterious layer where the true hell and anxiety begins. This room in particular is where the game really starts with its limited visibility and constant camera turns and shifts. Again, we have a timed puzzle. Hit the switch to lift a gate, to hit a switch again, to lift a gate. Now note, again, I'm probably showing you only about a third of my actual attempts here. I suck, and this mod is very hard. But aside from time, there's also issues with the geometry. So for example, I throw the bomb and it hits that pole right in the middle of the gate. And it ricochets away. So you're constantly hitting against something, can't see, have to move quickly, know where Link is despite not actually seeing him, etc., etc., etc. When I finally do get it, I didn't realize the next gate was also going to be timed, so I didn't quite get there. In general, the mod really plays with your unknowing and inability to see. Now here's an example of a block puzzle that gives you absolutely no leeway in terms of time. It's also when I started utilizing save states. Not mid-puzzle, mind you, because there's actually no time to implement a save state mid-puzzle, but every time I knew I failed, I would start again from the beginning of the puzzle just to save myself a bit of sanity. Here's an admirable attempt where I was a few steps away. If one mistake is made in this, you start over. Basically, the switch opens a gate and you need to move these blocks around to be able to get to the gate, climb on top of the blocks, and jump to a ledge. However, your time is very minimal and you must hustle. You don't have time to climb on anything you don't need to, and if you go slightly too far in any direction, you are absolutely done. Not to mention, the jankiness of the vines will get to you and you will fall off and it will be over. Now, the mod has other ways to make you sweat as well, like this timed battle segment. Here's me getting obliterated. Over and over. Now here, I'm actually playing with an invincibility cheat, and I'm still getting destroyed by the timer. I just can't fight these guys fast enough. Now this part I thought was actually pretty clever. You have to utilize an iron knuckle to break open barriers and doors for you. The challenge is you're being attacked on all sides, and it's a very, very narrow path, so you have to guide it ever so perfectly, otherwise it's just gonna fall. See? Now, in case you're wondering, this mod will give you a couple hours of gameplay, give or take, and that's a big swing on the give or take. If you are like expert level, you could probably get it down to like an hour and a half. If you're pretty good, 2 hours-ish. If you're like me, probably in the 3 or 4 hour range. But mileage will vary. Wow, the Fate of Bombiwa. I absolutely cheated my way through the latter part of this game, and it was still infuriating. That said, I don't think I am the audience for this. I'd venture a guess that this is for speedrunners and experts that have played the game forwards and back, people who enjoy messing with and pushing the game's mechanics in ways that Nintendo never anticipated. Those people will love this. Now, this was a huge challenge, like I said, and with the exceptions of the areas that I cheated in the areas and puzzles and rooms that I legitimately solved and accomplished myself, I did actually feel a sense of pride that I was able to do it. A lot of times when I'm playing Ocarina of Time, it's very casual, or I'm just messing around, doing beta element stuff, exploring, not really pushing myself from a gameplay standpoint. And I do feel that in a way this mod made me a slightly better player, which I certainly do appreciate. That said, if you think you can handle it, if you want to torture yourself a little bit, if you're a little masochistic, I'll go ahead and put links in the description below and you can click them and download it for yourself and give it a try. Aside from that, if you are new to the channel, do appreciate you watching. Would love for you to subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. Hope to see you all next time. Cheers.